Can you guys hear me right now? Dalen, can you hear me? Yeah? Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to share my screen. Sorry, last time I was able to show it, and this time I'm not seeing where that is.
In this video, you'll learn how to share your screen within a Zoom meeting. Simply select Share Screen at the bottom of your Zoom meeting window.
Oh, there we go. Okay, you guys ready? And can you hear me? Sorry. So I'm pretty sure I have them all set so that your microphone will be silent. If not, go ahead and mute it. So I'm going to be going off of the PowerPoint that's on my second screen. If you have your calendar out, we'll be going over some important dates regarding our technical reading and writing in the kinesiology department. Will you guys put your thumbs up if you can hear me okay? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so this is a screenshot of all of our assignments that are coming up. We're kind of transitioning now from our thinking, feeling, how are you doing, worked upon, networking, purpose-driven life, reflection, conversational tone to more of our technical reading and writing. So all of the assignments that are circled in green essentially build upon each other until that very last assignment on 12.3, what is the literature review paper. well, I guess on 11-12, your first draft with that. So our new focus, our technical reading and writing assignment, your big assignment, and I say big in quotation marks, your literature review paper is a 3-page summary. So even though it's our big assignment, it's not a huge ordeal, and it shouldn't take you hours and hours and hours. It's more of we're focusing now on our technical reading and writing skills, specifically in AMA format. The assignments were created with your upper division courses in mind. I know that some of you already, if you have Dr. Cosby, recently turned in an assignment in AMA format. And so this is kind of rehashing some of the things that you already might know, but also refining your skills with AMA format. Some of your upper division classes, the professors are really excited at your abilities in technical reading and writing skills. And then some of them are saying, wow, there's a lot of grammatical errors. There's a lot of students who don't know where the volume is listed or how to find current research or what the publication date is or authors' names and such. So some of these assignments were created as a department in such a way that when you're given assignments by your upper division professors, it should be easier. Some of them are very similar assignments as well, like your journal article review. You might see that in another class. So all of the green circled assignments are going to be our technical reading and writing assignments with a specific topic in mind. And then that first one, if you see the EBP assignment, Dr. Cosby has created an assignment, which we'll talk about more at the end of the this discussion. But I'm hoping that everything has worked out and that we'll have our full 40 minutes. But if not, I can post this again, kind of like last time when we had some difficulties. So be sure to watch Dr. Cosby's video. It's already posted on Canvas. And then that will talk more about your upcoming assignments, and you'll need to be narrowing down your decision as far as what research topic that you would like to do. And then you've got your technical writing quiz, which is basically as if we were meeting again. So in Canese 101, I meet with them 3 or 4 different times to talk about the technical reading and writing assignments. We're only meeting this time, and then we meet again one time in November. But that way it familiarizes yourself with what the expectations are for some of our assignments. So I took some of the screenshots of so for your technical reading and writing quiz, I essentially created a long flowing PowerPoint for you to read through and then take a quiz regarding just what we're going to be doing in this next section. So some of the slides from tonight will be reiterated in that same quiz that you're going to be doing next week, just to kind of acquaint yourself with what's expected. And then the journal article review on the 2nd. By then you will have your topic chosen, and you're essentially just choosing an article to summarize in a very specific manner. Each of these assignments has an example posted at the very bottom showing you an assignment from last year and what was expected of that. All of them will be in AMA format. And then your final big project, and again I say big in quotation marks, you'll be able to use the same references that you used in your journal article review and your technically written paragraph. So you'll have 3 references there, and then you'll only need to find 3 more for your literature review paper. So in a sense, you're going to be summarizing 6 different current peer-reviewed evidence-based practice articles into one 3-page paper as your final summary of your literature review paper. So literature review paper, you're going to become a tour guide of a chosen topic. You're going to be organizing trending ideas and arguments for the purpose of accessibility. So essentially you're going to be condensing a lot of information from 6 different articles into 3 different pages on your very specific and chosen topic, so that it can just be accessible as if you were printing it and handing it to me, and then I would be able to read on your topic and say, oh, okay, this is what current literature says about this topic. So these are the 4 topics that we have come up with. This is the 2nd year that we're using these topics. Dr. Denise Nelson, she's a name that you should get to know and be familiar with. She's in charge of the library, but also works very specifically with the kinesiology department. So as you have questions about finding appropriate references in the library, Dr. Denise Nelson is the person to go to with those questions. So she and Dr. Brandon Sawyer and I got together and we talked about what are current trends, what are the jobs that our department will be going into, and what are some topics that we could choose that we know there's enough research out there that's available for free, full pages and whatnot that would allow these assignments to happen. So number one, health benefits of high intensity interval training versus continuous exercise training. If that's something that's really important to you, then you could choose that as your topic. Number two, the prevention or treatment of medial tibial stress syndrome. So if you're interested in lower body ailments with shin splints, that would be something that you could do research on. Number three, the benefits of physical activity on Alzheimer's disease. So if you're working with older patients, geriatric patients, or just maybe you're interested in physical activity and its impact on the brain, that could be an option for you. And then number four, current treatment practices of lateral epicondylitis, so also known as tennis elbow. So hopefully one of those is of interest to you. If you have a topic that you are really, really interested in and you've already done some research and you know that there is enough research already available. So we know we've done research all summer, 2 summers ago. We looked up all of these topics just to ensure that there is at least 10, maybe even 20 or more applicable research articles that you could use in doing this. But if you're really interested in a different topic, I'm okay with that, as long as you aren't spending hours and hours and hours. So we've pre-chosen these so that you don't have to spend hours and hours choosing another topic. But if you would like to, just let me pre-approve it to make sure that it would be something that would work. So then these are, again, your 4 technical reading and writing build-up assignments. So with your topic in mind, are you interested in high-intensity interval training? Are you interested in shin splints, with physical activity in the brain, or with elbow injuries? So say that you choose for your video presentation from Dr. Cosby, say that you choose physical activity and Alzheimer's. For that assignment on number 1, then you would respond to her assignment question with that topic in mind. If you decide to change it, it's okay and you're allowed to. However, the hope is that once you get to the journal article review, that you've chosen a topic and that you stick with it. For the journal article review, you'll be reviewing 1 article, and for the technically written paragraph, you will be reviewing 2 articles. So again, if you have the same topic, then when you go down to begin your literature review paper, you'll already have 3 of the 6 necessary papers to write, to do your summary on. Okay, so on Canvas, let's see if I can open up Canvas. Here's our module for today. So you can see her video. So she's created a 20-minute video presentation, and then you're going to be doing a discussion board, and you're going to be creating what's called a PICO question, P-I-C-O question, and she'll explain to you what that means, and then you're going to be posting your refined question there. But when you go down to here, here's your technical writing quiz. This is the PowerPoint, and then the quiz that goes along with that. I've posted the AMA citation style guide for you. Anytime now that you're doing a technical writing assignment or reading assignment, make sure that you're looking through the AMA citation style guide. And then eventually you'll see down here, I'll post this up in the correct module. You've got your journal article review. For each of these assignments, it explains what's going to be happening, and then it has an example assignment from last year, so you can always see the exact format that's required, what was required last year, what was accepted last year. Another example of one is filled out with just the basis of what is expected, and then one is actually filled out. So again, using one of your topics, and then we're going to be using the program called Turnitin. Have you guys used the program Turnitin before? I think you are waving or saying yes. So it's basically an anti-plagiarism, checking your originality report score with that. So when you are submitting an assignment, you will be submitting it here after you have already submitted it through the program Turnitin to check your originality report score. So let's get back into the PowerPoint. Okay, so on Canvas, I've shown you an example of the exact format that will be required and is necessary. So you can see there you've got a title page that you'll need to summarize the actual title that you've chosen into just 3 or 4 words. And then you can see requirement. This is very similar to what some of our upper division professors will require of you for different assignments. This one's not due until November, but when it comes time to working on these, be sure to notice in Canvas that there's exact examples for you to see. So again, using one of these 4 topics, so there are different keywords that you can do with these. So make sure that you're kind of utilizing all of the different keywords. So you're looking at HIT, H-I-T, or H-I-I-T, or maybe typing out high intensity interval training, the entire word, or high intensity training, continuous exercise training. So don't just look up the word lateral epicondylitis, type in tennis elbow as well as you're performing your search for current research that would be applicable. So the second part of the journal article review after your title page is you're choosing an article that has a research problem, it has a hypothesis, and it has a method section. So there's an experimental design. When you are choosing research to do a summary on, you need to make sure that you're not summarizing another summary. You need to be choosing primary research. So the group of researchers who performed the research also then wrote about it. You're not writing about somebody else's summary. So in choosing your article, make sure that your article has a methods section. So don't write, this article did not have a methods section, because if so, then you're not choosing an appropriate article. You're choosing one that's probably more of an informational article, or maybe it's a literature review paper in itself. So then you would essentially summarize the hypothesis, the experimental design, the statistical treatment, how are they figuring out what to do with the results that they gathered, what were the results and the conclusion. The only time that your actual voice will be heard in this presentation, sorry, in your paper when you're sending it to me, is in your reaction. When you are writing in your technical writing voice, there will be no conversational tone, your opinion, the word I, me, you will not be there. You're simply summarizing what you've read, shortening it concisely, simply, without kind of the flowery adjectives and descriptive words. So we're going to be using AMA format. I will post this particular presentation, but here you see it's a color-coded in AMA format. You always put the authors first, and you do last name, first initial, last name, first initial. With AMA format, if there are more than 6 authors listed, you only list the first 3 and then you write et al. Otherwise, if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or 6, you can list them. And then the next one you see here in green is the title of the article. The title of the article in AMA format, you only capitalize the first word, and then if there are any proper nouns or proper words or names, then you would capitalize them. Otherwise, only the first word is going to be capitalized for proper AMA formatting. Woo, sorry. So then after you have the title of the article, you have the title of the journal itself. So it's in that darker purple. So there are 2 ways that you can do the title of the journal for proper AMA format. You can write out the entire name, so Journal of Aging and Health, or you could put it, it's called in PubMed or Med Indexus style. It's J Aging Health, so it's kind of their abbreviated form. That's in italics, and then you stop using italics, and then you put the year of publication. AMA only has the year of publication. It doesn't have the month or the day, and then the volume number, and then the issue number, and then the page number. So this particular format is going to be what you're going to use for all of your assignments. You will only ever be doing a journal article. You will never be reviewing or researching or referencing a book or a book chapter or a plain website. So make sure that you're always doing it in journal form. So we'll only focus on journal form. So I posted the, let's see. So if we go back to here, I've posted this here. I've also posted it up on next week's the AMA Citation Style Guide. Dr. Kugler and I created this together, and it essentially summarizes what you would need specifically for our kinesiology department and for this class and for Kines 101. So these are kind of 6 really important things that you might use. Here's showing you how it might look in the text itself. So like when you do your technical paragraph, you'll have in-text citations. And then these 2 right here will probably be your go-to So this shows you the format, the author, the title of the article, the title of the journal, the year of publication only, not the month, then the volume, then the issue number, then the page number and page number. So here's an example there. The DOI is not really important. So you can put the DOI. So the DOI is essentially telling me that you found your article on the cloud. You didn't have it in hand. You weren't actually reading the actual journal, and it's completely okay. Almost all journals now are online and some published, whereas they used to be all published and a couple were online. So you don't need to add the website of where you found the article or the DOI, but you are welcome to if you really wish to. Let's get back to this. Sorry. Okay, so then you're going to be practicing a reference page for the journal article review due in November. For the reference page for this particular assignment, you will only have one reference because you're only going to be doing a summary of one. But it's really important that, again, you're practicing, and for some of you this will be redundant, but for some of you this will be the first time you're practicing your AMA format, so the American Medical Association format, with the author's names, then the title of the article or of the journal, and then the year of publication, volume, issue, and page number. So on Canvas, everything has been posted up to journal article review, and then I'll work on getting the technical paragraph instructions posted and the literature review paper posted, but everything is posted, the assignments from now until when we meet again. So we will be meeting again the first week of November, but I would really say pay attention to the AMA Citation Style Guide. The AMA Citation Style Guide is going to be your go-to, but you can also Google the journal articles for AMA because we're only going to be reviewing and referencing a journal article itself. So there will always be the example from last year for you to see, and then you can email me if you have questions. After you do your technical reading and writing quiz next week, I think that would be probably a good time to then ask me questions, because that will be really getting you deeper. This is kind of just introducing you to our new topic. And next week's quiz is a lengthier version of this PowerPoint, kind of that you'll scroll through and then take the quiz alongside of that as you're continuing with that. So when you're doing your journal article review, you'll see that anytime that it's necessary for you to do the check originality on Turnitin, you'll need to submit that. So you see that it's worth 0 points. So what this means is that you have to do this. You will not get a score on your journal article review until I am able to check your originality report score. So I have this slide here. This is a screenshot from the assignment on Canvas. If you've never used Turnitin before, it's really user-friendly. But here's a video here if you would like to watch it, and it kind of gives you a brief overview of that. If you skip to 2 minutes, 39 seconds, from 4 minutes to 16 seconds, the people at ITS here in our school have kind of broken it apart to where it's going to be most helpful. If you submit your paper through Turnitin and you have an originality report score that you're not okay with, and you feel like, oh my goodness, it looks like I've plagiarized more than I intended to, you can submit it through Turnitin again a second time after you've made the necessary changes. With this, I have it in highlighted, your second and further submission. So if you do it second or third or fourth time, submitting your paper, sometimes it takes more than 24 hours for the originality report score to be published. And I'm not sure why. That's something on the end of Turnitin. So when you do these, make sure that you're submitting it in time. So don't wait until 11:58 to run it through Turnitin, because by the time you get your report score, it'll be past time and you won't be able to submit your assignment on Canvas. So this is, again, this is a screenshot of what it looks like, but it's posted already on Canvas. So you would click right here, you would load your entire thing. So if your assignment for the journal article requires a title page, requires the summary, and then requires a reference page, you would submit the entire document, not just the summary itself, through Turnitin. Okay, so some examples of past assignments that I've had. I will be reading through all of them really, really carefully. You'll be getting comments. Unless you have 100%, you'll see a comment on why you were docked, where you were docked, if it was formatting, if it was AMA, if it was an incorrect or inappropriate journal that you've chosen, or if you haven't chosen to run it through Turnitin. So then I will be writing very specific comments. So if you see this here, so I wrote this comment for a student last year. Don't forget to run this through Turnitin. It will not be graded until then. So make sure that you're doing that. You can't get a grade. I won't read through your assignment until I've checked the originality report score. And there's not a specific number that I'm looking for. If you're the first person to turn it in of all of the Kines 101 classes in 484, you'll probably have a lower originality report score compared to if you're the very last one. It will check for consistent words through, would be considered plagiarism, for all of the assignments submitted at Point Loma through Canvas and through Turnitin, along with whatever is on the website. So if you're the very last person to turn it in, your score might be higher, but that doesn't necessarily indicate that you plagiarized, but it would show that it has, maybe the same article has been submitted over and over again. So other comments that you might get, so more of the grammatic comments. So I've not been docking you points with purpose-driven life or work the pond if you forget commas or if you have grammatical errors or if it's more in texting conversational voice. But with these, remember that you need to be in your more academic voice. So consider us like a writing 110 class for these types of assignments. So one comment that I had written last time was your paper is essentially 2 long paragraphs and there's too much going on in each paragraph. So thinking about concise topic as you're breaking it down, like very basic 5th, 6th, 7th grade writing skills. Your opening paragraph should have an introduction to the main idea. You should have at least 3 body paragraphs. So this is a this is a comment for somebody's literature review paper, just kind of describing what I was looking for. So when you see these comments or when you see emails that say you have a comment, make sure that you're checking them, because that way you're going to ensure that you don't make the same mistake for the next assignment or for the next assignment or for the next assignment. So you're not getting docked unnecessary points. So current research, when you are looking up research, what we'll consider to be current would be preferable that it was written and published, in the last 5 years, but it will be acceptable if it was written and published within the last 10 years. So 2008 is the most unrecent of recent articles that would be accepted. So 2007 and below will not be considered current research. And again, Dr. Nelson and I looked through all of our topics, and there's plenty of topics that will allow you, plenty of research that's been published in appropriate journals that will allow you to be able to find the necessary resources that you need. So again, remember, a research article is essentially contributing new ideas to the academic field. It's a summary of current research along with a hypothesis, suggestion for future and further research. You're going to be looking through research papers to then write a literature review paper. And when you're looking through research papers, it's really important that the papers that you are referencing were written by the people who are performing the research themselves. So I have this again on the quiz because this was one of the comments that I typed over and over and over again last year. People would read a really well-written and interesting article, but it was essentially an informational article or it was a summary of other people's research. You need to be citing and referencing the primary research itself. So the first-hand experimental research paper is what you are looking for. If you find a really good informational paper, look through their references and see who are they referencing, and then try to find those papers yourself. So you're going to become a tour guide of your chosen topic. So you have your 4 topic choices. Hopefully one of them is of interest to you. And then you're going to become a tour guide of that as you then write a literature review paper. So when you're writing your literature review paper, you're essentially choosing 2 or 3, maybe 4 at most, subtopics within your topic, and you're organizing these trending ideas, these arguments, making them accessible for the reader, who happens to be me, or if you were to post this or present this at a conference, as if you're a tour guide of your chosen topic. You're summarizing what is current research doing on this topic. So things that will be helpful as you are doing this. So I know as this is a web-based Canvas class, we're not seeing each other face-to-face where you can just kind of pop in and ask questions before and after class. But if you want to, I'm in my office a lot, so you can come and see me or you can email me. But you're going to be using the AMA formatting guide a lot for all of them. I would suggest printing it and just having it in hand. I can print them and put them in my office, or I could print them. Oh. Do you guys see that? A gift. We can do more than 40 minutes, but we're not in anywhere near there. So good. Okay. So having your AMA formatting guide accessible. So the library is a huge resource. So Point Loma has paid in to databases. So you don't need to buy any article. So if you're trying to find an article and it says you have to pay $30 or $40 or $50, don't buy it, but write down the title of that article and then go into the library and Dr. Nelson or anybody else, or they actually have a chatting function on the library's website where you can chat with them and you can send them the article and ask them to find it to you. They can even do interlibrary loans with research articles. So use their free resource guide so that you can be finding all of the things that are out there. If you're having a really difficult time locating current research that's evidence-based practice and that's applicable for our classes, Dr. Nelson is coming into my KNES 101 classes next week at 5:30 and 6:30, and I'm going to try to have the multimedia ITS group come in and video it, so maybe I'd be able to post it. But if not, she's always available at the library. They're really, really helpful. I would suggest starting with Denise Nelson. She's specifically our kinesiology librarian. So she knows our 4 topics and she knows your assignment very well. So she's very eager to help with that. But any of the other librarians would also be more than willing to help. Because these are in technical reading and writing voice, I need you to read and reread and read and reread them over and over again. Have your roommates read them out loud, checking for grammatical errors. The expectations for this are going to be really high. So I'm not expecting to see a lot of grammatical errors. If you need to go to the writing studio, if you need to have the tutors help you out, if you need to have other classmates help you out, when it comes time to your literature review paper especially, you probably won't need to do this for your journal article review. It's kind of the first one introducing us to this topic. And then number 4, checking Canvas for specific comments. I'm spending a lot of time going through each of the articles that everybody is posting. So make sure that you're checking for these comments. You're checking to see where you're getting docked points, and then you're fixing those errors. Again, whether it be formatting or grammar, or you're choosing to reference articles that are not okay, making sure that you're not making the same mistake in your future assignments. Okay, so here's another example of what a comment might look like. So there are in-text comments that you can do. So these are in-text comments. So these would occur directly on your document that you're submitting itself. So for example, in this one, they double-spaced the reference page. So in the example that is posted, you'll see that the reference page in AMA format is not supposed to be double-spaced at all. So make sure that you're paying attention to little things like that. Number 2, the comment says this article is not acceptable. Number 1, it is an informational article, so it's called Evaluating Shins Pain in Active Patients. So it's very informational. I talked a lot about it, but essentially they did a search of articles that had been written about shin pain, and then they summarized it, and that's your job. So you don't need to be summarizing somebody else's summary. So then also this particular journal, the Journal of Musculoskeletal Medicine, isn't considered a peer-reviewed journal. So a peer-reviewed journal, there's a list of them in the library. So you can actually, when you're on the database, they have like a little box up top that says peer-reviewed or not. But a peer-reviewed journal means a group of scholars in that field. They're not just checking for grammatical errors, but they're knowledgeable about the topic. And they're checking for your method section, that the method sections are repeatable, that they're accurate, that they're being statistically analyzed in a correct format. They're sending it back and forth before they're then published in a reputable peer-reviewed journal. So then number 2, this second article is also not acceptable. It was published in 2001. So we want current research. So if somebody were to sprain their MCL or to tear their ACL. You don't want your doctor to look at a peer-reviewed journal back from the 80s and using that. Evidence-based practice has changed greatly, and so we want the most current, up-to-date information about your chosen topic. Okay, so components of a research paper. So when you are looking for articles to decide whether or not they are going to be approved by me or by anybody, any of your upper division classes, they have to have a methods section. So if they don't have that methods section, then they're probably just summarizing other groups or other people's research. So the methods section would be essentially the recipe for repeating the research. It would tell you who the participants were, the number of participants, the age, the demographic of the participants, the instruments used, the procedures used, how they are analyzing things, and then it would have the rest of it, which almost all of your articles that you will read would have the other topics as well. So another comment left, so you might end up seeing something like this. So Fault, S, period, comma, Edwards, comma, L, period. So that's not in AMA format. So the author's names are not posted in AMA format. The date does not belong right here. That's APA format. The title of the article is not correct. And it says it's a literature review. You cannot, again, you cannot do a review on somebody else's review. So making sure that you're checking for the AMA format citation guidelines so that you have it in the correct format. And then here again with AMA, if we have the issue number, so we have issue number 1, then you don't need to add the month. You only add the year of publication. So I understand that you probably haven't worked a lot with AMA, and there are some of our faculty members who are going to use APA, and there are some who are going to use other ones, but it's essentially introducing you to a specific format so that you have an idea of what might be expected in some of your classes. Okay, so then this comment, if you read that, is an unfortunate comment that this student took a lot of time and wrote a really well-written paper. So that was really well written. However, 3 of their 18 references, they had 18 references, were written in the past 10 years. So the other 15 references were written more than 10 years ago. So making sure that you are familiarizing yourself with Denise Nelson, with the library, making sure that you're reading through sources, and you're not spending time on papers that aren't going to be acceptable. So next week, you have your technical writing quiz. I'll post this once we start this week, so that way you don't have too many assignments going on at the same time. So this right here, this page right here is essentially, like I said, a really long list of different PowerPoint slides with some verbiage and whatnot, going in deeper to what is expected with your different assignments, a little more of a description of some of your assignments, and then a quiz. This is in lieu of meeting with each other next week. So I am meeting with the Canese 101 class another time to go over essentially these same things. While you're doing this, it's okay to have your quiz up while you are looking up at this. And then you have your AMA citation style guide along as well if you need to see that. And then this is also posted on another module just to make sure that you have access to it. So that's next week. This week, when we're done, I will post the webinar. I'm pretty sure that it's videoing it right now compared to last time. Don't forget that we have our purpose-driven life. I've posted the 3 people who are in charge of our discussion for this week. And then her video is 20 minutes. So make sure that by Friday at midnight, you've already watched the video and you've posted your PICO question. So she'll describe what a PICO question is. You'll need to have an idea of which of the 4 topics you want to choose, so that you are able to do your PICO question, because your PICO question is very specific to your chosen topic. So this one's going to be due by midnight, oh goodness, of Friday. And then once you've posted your own PICO question, then you'll be able to see the rest of the classes. She's set it up so that you can't see them though until then. And then you have your final question once you've refined it. So 2 more slides, and I think I'm in my final minute. This is already posted here. The purpose of this assignment is to make your search for current research a lot easier so that you know very specific keywords. And also with your PICO questions, you can kind of use them as a thesis statement, which you'll need to do as well. Okay, so questions. If you have questions, go ahead and email me, or you can type them in the comment box. And then I would like everybody to remember your final exam is the Monday of finals week. It is in person. You need to show up. It will be from 7 to 9 p.m. in the ARC, and it's an expert panel. And we have a really, really good group of people coming to share